episode 5. We're up to episode 5. Well, in real life, they're up to episode 6, but had a lot of stuff going on. I went to the New York City Anime Convention over the weekend, so I'm just a little backed up. But checked out episode 5, so let's just get right into it and check out what the Pierce family is up to. So, right out the gate, Tavon, he was one of the students from, Jeff's high school, and he got snatched up because for suspicion of being a meta. Nyssa had taken him to the Purdy camp, and he was just taking some photo of like what was going on, a message for his parents, and he's just like, hey, people are working together here, this is kind of cool. Odell, he was at the crib, he was at the crib, I forgot what they call his facility, the ASA. He was at the ASA. He was basically looking up potential matches and targets because Blackbird in the last episode, she kind of like ruined a lot of his stuff. So Odell's on a mission to catch, as as Henderson put it, the Blackbird. So he he's putting up like different profiles, like weight, height, size, all this other stuff, and different girls that he can different names that he can target to find out who the Blackbird is. And one of the last names that came up was actually Nyssa. Nyssa, fit his profile. So he was just like, well, that's not a coincidence because he knows for a fact that she's a meta. So it's weird, like, it's because he struck a deal with the Pierce family. He told Jeff, he was like, listen, as long as you and your wife help me, I'll leave your daughters alone. But if he suspects Nyssa of being Blackbird, why wouldn't he just talk to Nyssa directly or talk to Jeff or talk to Lynn about it? He actually went to Khalil, which was funny because Khalil, he was doing a sparring session. Well, it wasn't even sparring because he almost killed the two dudes. Like, Khalil was in the middle of training. He almost killed the two guys that that he was supposed to spar against. And then Odell rolled up and he was just like, yo, I need you to handle Blackbird. And it's crazy because Odell knows it's Nyssa. And he basically told Khalil, like Khalil said in the previous episode, they don't send me to talk to people. They don't send me to take care of situations. They send me when they want somebody to die. So Odell just flat out went back on his word, and he sent Khalil to kill Nyssa. So so Khalil's on a mission now. The parents of the young lad, of Tavon. They were talking to Jeff. They were just like, our son's not a meta. We got the proof. And then, Jeff looked at the paper. He was like, yo, your son's actually not a meta. So he called Nyssa, and he was just like, yo, I need you to do me a solid. He was like, I need you to go I need you to go to the camp. And the next time you go to the camp to bring in some people, I need you to bring Tavon back because we have proof that he's not a meta. Now, Nyssa told him, she was like, look, it's not a good idea. But, Jeff was just like, let's do it. And then she was just like, all right, fine, I'll see what's up. Now, this is a rare situation because usually Jeff is the one who's trying to tell Nyssa something, and Nyssa's always the one who's just like, no, Dad, I know what I'm doing. Like, she's trying to, like, be her own person and be independent, which is cool. Like, I don't got a problem with what Nyssa's doing, but the problem is, like, even with her not listening to her dad anymore and thinks that, like she can do everything on her own because she's trying to build her own path. And I get that. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But the problem with her trying to forge her own path, like Jeff said in the last episode, she's too hung up on the fame aspect of it. Like, she has to, like, she just can't do a good deed and then break out. Everything has to be, like, extravagant, And she's at a point now where she thinks, like, she knows everything and, can't nobody tell nothing. Although she still goes to Gabi for everything under the sun. Nyssa was at home with Grace, and she gave Grace the inoculation for the virus that was going around. Gabi came to the crib. He met because Nyssa's been talking to to Gabi about Grace. Like, actually, Gambi's the only person that Nyssa's been in communication with. Like, she lies to everybody else. She keeps things from everybody else, but she talks to Gabi mostly because Gabi doesn't really give her shit over it, and Gabi actually helps her with the stuff that she needs at the same time. So, Grace, met Gabi. She was like, wow, I thought you'd be black. And then Gabi was like, well, I thought you'd have leopard spots because, I saw you on camera and you was a tiger. So, the two of them met, which was kind of cool. Grace wasn't really, keen on Nyssa going out at night. But, it is what it is. She got to do what she got to do. So, Nyssa goes out. She goes to the camp. She ends up meeting the black girl who had the white baby, like the twins, the black and the white baby. She's still giving her attitude for no reason. And then she was just like, yo, here's some inoculation for everybody here, and here's some more money. I don't want to hear no shit, and then she took off. She spoke to Tavon. She was like, yo, come back with me. I'm going to take you to your parents. They came through the perimeter. Your boy Khalil was there. Khalil. Khalil and Nyssa fought. That was a cool fight. Like, because the thing is, Khalil and Nyssa as characters never really interact. Like, it's been 2 seasons. It's been two, well, 2.5. I mean, this is not even a half. It's been 2 seasons and 5 episodes, and I don't think like I think this is the first time Khalil and Nissa's characters have been in the same room at at the same time. Like, they've never interacted before. And, hell, Jefferson and Gabi, those are the first 2 characters aside from Nyssa to talk to Grace. There's like so many people on this show, but if you really think about it, certain characters have never interacted, but like Nyssa and Tobias Whale have never had a conversation. They've never been in the same room at the same time. I don't think Henderson and Jennifer's even had a conversation before. Like there are just so many different characters. Like it's a solid cast, but you'd really be surprised if you think about it. Like, how many characters haven't actually mixed in together. I mean, hell, Odell and Gabi have never had a conversation. So anyway, so Nyssa goes out. She, like I said, she's bringing Tavon back over. Khalil shows up. Nyssa and Khalil get into a fight. Khalil ends up like hurting. Like, see, and that's the thing. Like, Blackbear is supposed to be indestructible. Like, Nyssa's supposed to have the power, like the indestructible power. Khalil actually hurt her, and not only did Khalil hurt Nyssa, he also poisoned Tavon. And then Nyssa was able to knock him through the barricade, and then, she called her dad, and she was like, yo, come meet me in the tunnel. They met in the tunnel, and unfortunately Tavon died. And I'm like, the boy dead, you just got ambushed by Khalil, although she doesn't know it's Khalil. There's a lot of important things that's happening, and Nyssa just couldn't help herself. She came out her mouth, and she was just like, I told you it was a bad idea. And I'm just like, really? Like now ain't the time for that. So, that was sad. I actually liked Tavon as a character. Like, he was cool, but yeah, but he gone. Like, he gone, unfortunately. The next day, the kids at the school, they found out that Tavon was dead. They got mad at the ASA. The kids actually started a riot. Now again, that doesn't mean they deserve to get their ass whooped. I mean, they're teenagers. Like, these are like trained military operatives. So they shouldn't be putting their hands on kids. They shouldn't be like beating up teenagers. But he dead ass kind of threw something. he did kind of provoke them. But the ASA was about to bust his ass, and then Jeff came out of the building. And then Jeff was like, yo, leave these kids alone. And they was like, yo, get your old black. I'm surprised he ain't say that, because like, I don't drink like at all. Like, I've never had alcohol before, but if I was a drinking person, I swear I would take a shot every time someone says black ass. Like, every time someone says black ass, and every time Tobias Whale insults black people. So yeah, so the cops basically, like, the ASA basically whooped Jeff's ass in front of the students. Jennifer came out. She saw she was getting his she was getting, her daddy was getting his ass beat, and then she came out and she tried to help him. So the thing with Jennifer, in the last episode, she was flying too close to the sun, absorbing all the sun's power. And I think because she flew so close to the sun, it affected her to the point where she absorbed way too much sun energy. So she woke up the next day like she wasn't feeling well. She was kind of sick. She wasn't she was out of it. Like, she told her dad she was sick and she didn't want to go to school, but he was just like, yo, you going to school? And she ended up going to school. She was in class. She ended up like over sparking like the computer lab. She blew up the computer lab. Like, her powers were kind of like coursing through her veins and everything. And then she asked Homeboy, like the Simone looking dude with the big old curly hair for his jacket. I told y'all he was a meta. So like I said in the previous review, I said that he's a meta. So so Jen was struggling with like her power like the entire episode. So when she saw her dad getting his ass beat, she powered up and she was gonna go outside and she was gonna handle something. And then Homeboy, he stopped her, and then he grabbed her, and then she was just like, let me go, I gotta save my daddy. And then he was like, no, you gonna get yourself killed. And then he absorbed her power. So I don't know what his metahuman powers are, but I guess he has absorbing power. I mean, we'll see. I guess we'll see in episodes to come like the extent of his absorbing power. But he absorbed Jennifer's power and calmed her down. So whatever, all that excess sunlight energy that she took in, he took it out. So I would assume that she would feel a lot better. Jennifer then went to Odell, and then she was just like, yo, is the ASA's job to whoop my daddy's ass? And then Odell gonna be like, I marched with Martin Luther King. I don't enjoy seeing a black man get beat in the streets. But you just told Khalil to go kill Nyssa because she's Blackbird. I'm like, you got some. I'm like, bro, you know. And then Odell, he was like, I'll reprimand, you know, the people who did it. And his idea of reprimanding them, he told Jennifer, he basically sucked Jennifer on them. Jennifer put the costume on, and, you know, the Odell costume, because remember, Gabi had the costume for it, and Odell made an exact replica of the Gabi costume, which probably has poison or like cameras or something in it. You know, so she you know, she basically, like the people that beat up her dad, she went to where they were staying, and we're going to assume Jennifer, she put some respect on the Pierce name, and she bust that ass on all those ASA agents. Odell ended up going to Nyssa's house because Nyssa was hurt now, and he wanted to confirm that she was Blackbird. So he goes to Nyssa's house. You know, Nyssa answers the door, and he's just like, oh, we've apprehended Blackbird. She's in our custody, which was a lie. And then he was just like, you know, I follow the numbers, and, you know, my numbers say that you Blackbird, and then Nyssa fine ass and them little ass booty shorts. She's just like, I don't know what you're talking about, you know, and blah, blah. And I'm not going to lie, like, they actually tricked me at first, because when she answered the door, the first thing that popped in my mind was, I was like, wasn't her ribs just broken like 10 minutes ago? So they actually caught me with that one. And then ended up being Grace. Like, we find out that because I keep forgetting Gabi has the image inducers, and Gabi used the image. He put the image inducer on Grace, and Grace was pretending to be Nyssa, which threw Odell off the scent. So Odell has no idea who Blackbird is now, and Nyssa's not even in his custody. So Odell screwed in in that regard. And also, just to go back to Jennifer a second. Who's this new chick that she hanging out with? Because she hanging out with the Samoan looking dude, and then there's like this new black girl. I'm like, what happened to Keisha? Like, what? Like what happened to End of Days, girl? End of Days. Like, Keisha just flat out disappeared. Now we got this new chick, and I'm just like, is she a meta? Because she getting a lot of screen time, and I don't even know how long Jennifer knew this chick. Like, this girl just came out of nowhere. But yeah. So you know, so Odell's Blackbird plans were foiled. Jefferson's in intensive care. And Jennifer just went and whooped some ass on some ASA agents. Lynn, she woke up in the middle of the night. She was like, I have an epiphany. I got to go back to the lab. And she basically came up with this whole thing about curing the metas. You know, trying to stabilize a metahuman cure. She comes up with an idea. She was just like, yo, Dr. Chase's research, you know, it was good for something. And I can use her research. And I can use the serum that she created and create a vaccine to cure the metas. The problem is, she said she needs like a bone marrow or a blood sample from a test subject who survived Dr. Chase's experiment, and the only person who survived the experiment was patient number 49. Come to find out, patient 49, and she was just like, "Yo, bring me patient 49 so I can take a sample," and it's Tobias Whale. You know, and Odell knew that. He filed for that. So Tobias Whale was patient 49. Him and Lynn are like. This is the first time Lynn and Tobias have had a conversation. Like, Lynn and Tobias are talking to each other now. He's like, Mrs. Pierce, you know, you'll find that. You know, he's just like, I was rooting for you before all them kids died. You know, like, he's trying to, like, put the moves on. He's trying to, like, talk her up or whatever. And then he just came out with it. He was just like, you know, when I was in lockup, I found it funny that the Pierce family, you know, I ripped the spine out of Khalil's back, you know, who was dating your daughter, and all of a sudden some new firecracker chick came and lit my ass up. You know, then Black Lightning went to the motel, and only saved your daughters. And then he was like, I got one question, bitch, what's your super suit look like? And then Lynn was like, oh no. You know, so the two of them got into it. Tobias basically was just like, yo, I'm gonna kill Jefferson Pierce, and y'all gonna sit there and watch because I'm Tobias Whale. Because the thing is, Lynn, in order for Lynn to do the experiment of testing the cure, she had to actually give Tobias the medicine that made him look young, that gave him his super strength, and, you know, that made him look youthful. So Tobias is back to normal, and then, you know, then she took the sample from him. So now, so Lynn has her sample, but Tobias basically knows what the deal is now with the Pierce family. And Lynn even said to Odell, she was like, yo, once I get what I need from Tobias Whale, kill that mother effer, because he knows too much, and you were supposed to protect my family. So what's really good, ODZ, you know, Odell never actually gave her a straight answer, but you know, we'll see, because Odell's basically, like, I mean, is it safe to say, I mean, I'm not one to get into the whole, like, big bad thing, but is it safe to say that Odell's actually the big bad of the season? No la this episode. So Henderson, he was addressing the public. He was like, yo, if you see something, say something. And the public was like, say these, and then they're throwing fruit at him. Everybody's basically, like, calling Henderson and Uncle Tom. Like, the public hates Henderson, which is sad, because, like, he's a police officer trying to do his job. So Henderson took it, you know, he's just like, he takes all the abuse, you know, that the public gives him. But, you know, Henderson got his, you know, he knows what he got to do. The dude who threw the, which was the dude with the dreads who owned the bar, you know, from the first two seasons, he ended up, like, that was the dude who threw the tomato at Henderson. Henderson rolls up on him at the bar, locks him up, puts him in the back of the car. He then goes to the preacher, and then he's just like, yo, I know, he's like, I know you trafficking metas. So he puts him in handcuffs, takes him away. He's got them both in the back of the van. He brings them to a secure location, and then that secret group that was you know, that was running around, the ones that were attacking ASA agents and trying to take back the streets in the name of Blackbird, because they were doing it in Blackbird's name. That group is actually run by Henderson. Like, Henderson's the one that put that secret group together to, you know, to help the people. And he told the Reverend, and he told the black dude with the dreads, he was like, yo, you know, Jefferson getting his ass beat and Tavon dying is exactly what we needed to get the city to rally behind us and make a stand, to push the ASA out of the community. I mean, at this point, the Markovians aren't even a thing. Like, I don't know what Markovia doing, and Markovia is probably not even thinking about Freeland. This is probably just like an elaborate setup by Odell just so he can get his metas, you know. But because I don't even know, like, nobody's even talking about Markovia anymore. I'm like, what happened to Markovia? So yeah, but now Henderson, he put the team together. Blackbird's on the team, the preacher's on the team. He got a whole group of people together, and well, shit. I mean, with the organization that Henderson put together, Blackbird got a whole camp full of metas in the Purdy thing, and she can get all of them, and she can rally up all the metas. They can just bust the ASA's ass and kick them out of Freeland once and for all. But we'll see what happens. But shout out to Henderson, because Henderson's been taking some shit, and it's actually nice to see Henderson get a win, you know, because what's been happening to him actually wasn't cool. So yeah, so that was it. Prediction, good episode of Black Lightning, definitely good episode. Jennifer won't find out about Khalil just yet. Tobias is going to break out of the ASA right before the crisis starts. I saw a commercial for Black Lightning regarding the crisis. It showed Black Lightning yoking up on the Flash, and then he had said to the monitor, he was like, yo, my world is destroyed, and you talking about how we got to help people. And if they did kill the Black Lightning, because apparently now he's on a different Earth, so that's confirmed that Black Lightning's on a different Earth. And if he is on a different Earth, I hope his family went with him, you know, because, you know, it'd be nice to see Lynn included. It'd be nice to see the entire Pierce family involved in the crossover. So that was it. I don't think I missed anything. You know, we talked about, you know, pretty much every single character, like Jeff, Khalil, Jen, Nyssa, Gabi, you know, GBZ, you know, yeah, good stuff. So thank you for tuning in. Episode 6 coming soon. My anime convention video should be coming later this week. Leave a comment, like, and or subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Red Eyes Media. That's Red Eyes with a Z. You can follow me at Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at Red Eyes Blackfire with a Z. Leave a comment on YouTube, like, and or subscribe. And until next time, take care, and I'm out this. Yeah.